Go on YouTube. This is 3zinferno. So we have BB, Brenden Beckmann here from Team Ghost. Where are you from, man?
From Denver, Colorado.
All right. And what we have here?
Some machines.
Oh man, is this what I think it is?
Some ancient gear guys with some of these guys together now.
Interesting. So we got what did you call this deck?
Machina-lefics.
Machina-lefics.
Machina-lefics. Everybody like Machina-lefics, but it's Machina-lefics. One word.
So let's start it off. We got 3 gear frames.
We got our 3 gear frames for our Machina, which of course perfectly go with our 3 fortress.
3 fortresses, all right.
And then we have a cannon to, of course, get back the fortress just in case afterwards for the extra explosive play. And these guys are perfect to get back those because now we solved the dead problem of them being in your hand.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, that's what Geartown had a lot of trouble with when they dead draw Gattletrons.
Exactly. Where you wouldn't want a special amount over your hand, it's always better out of the graveyard. Right. And then trade-in would be inconsistent. Well, now, once I have this or this, essentially I have 6 cards now that instantly will make that live, plus my duality, so...
Right on.
The odds are in my favor, hopefully, to make this never dead. 3 cards.
Just draw power.
Draw, and I can there's been times, again, where sometimes I'll be more aggressive, discard those 2 together just to bring him out.
That makes sense. It's only, it's level 2.
So
level 1's enough, huh?
Yep, so it's perfect that way. Again, just great draw engine, has great synergy with the deck. Being machine makes it's perfect.
Right.
We have the 3 Malefic Cybrens for our big beat 6, of course. Like the biggest, essentially, these guys are the 2 biggest problems. Well, they're all big problems.
Yeah,
but
anything.
Being able to OTK with this, it's mere size. These guys you can still get over 25 to 3,000. There's really nothing that can just get over a 4,000 beat stick.
Right.
You have to use some kind of other play, some kind of effect removal.
And Galvatron's much better right now because more people are running like Deep Prisons and Mirror Force and things like that, which can activate.
Exactly. With Josh Graham's deck being really popular, I figured people would be on that a lot. And I did see a lot of people were using that, and it turned out it was great. Especially when you equip a gear frame to him afterwards, just attack with him, leave him, then equip. How do you get rid of him?
No, you can't.
It's such a pain. And then the last monster I played was just one Cyber. It's good against. I made it because I was expecting to play a lot of heroes and windups and gear gias, which I only played 1 of each, and it was good against both of them. I was also in there for heroes to deal with Thunder King and the 1900 beat 6 early. Originally it was a Cyber Phoenix, but I felt this would be more aggressive. Also let me push without having to commit, essentially like every other card does, and it actually worked out really good in the main.
All right.
So yeah, 16 monsters is everything I got here. But
technically it's like only 12.
Yeah, because these aren't
then cards, and then the cannon's not really a monster either.
Essentially, these aren't. I have used them before to go to XYZ. I didn't do it this tournament, but there are times when, again, he does give me the extra 8s I need. And essentially, he's an 8 with Chimera Tech. That you never know. He can be, but very, very unlikely. But it happens. So it's another play just to have.
So it's a pretty thin monster count if you like 12 summonable monsters.
Yeah. So there's the monsters. For the spells, you have double duality, of course.
Right.
I mean, for my field spells, I go double Necro Valley, triple Geartown, of course, heart of the deck, and then to make it consistent, I have my 3 terraformings.
All right. So Thunder King is a big problem.
Thunder King, yeah. So at one point I was even maining Chalice to deal with him, but it wasn't good enough. People were suggesting another Cyber Dragon, but I feel like I needed more negation. Thunder King was a problem, but again, I feel like I came to the point where I have so many different ways to push through him to make him have to get rid of him.
Right.
That it wasn't that big of a problem, and if they didn't tribute him, I wouldn't. Like I remember at one point, I special summoned a Cyber Dragon, guy has Thunder King, doesn't negate, and I just sit there for game goes back and forth for at least 3 or 4 turns, and it just lets me build up and push through.
All right.
I use Heavy to help clear, make my OTKs. Great to get rid of Geartown. Essentially gives me another field spell way to get rid of it without actually playing one.
Right.
I only used 1 Lance. Everybody was trying to say 2 or 3, but I felt like these guys were going to be mainly my early game pushes, where everything else is kind of to slow the game down.
What was you pointing at, sorry?
The the ancient gear guys.
Gattletrons,
guys. My early game pushes were, like I said, these guys just slow, control, build up for the OTK. Light pushes here and there. Again, I wouldn't normally attack if I didn't have another monster push because of the light monster count.
Right.
So I have to be careful. Also, I didn't use the second launch because I preferred Book. It was more diverse in negation, slowing down other plays, and also compared to bottom. I guess Lance works the same with the bottoms, but just the other defensive plays is why I liked it more than Lance. Where I understand how the 800 is good, but it's hard for me at times to get a monster on the field to even have it, or to book the Thunder King.
Right.
Essentially, that was a Lance or a Chalice at one point, so I felt like the book would be more diverse and have more use. And then the last spell I played, the most broken card in the deck, I sacked so many people with, and they probably think this card should be banned now. Limiter.
All right.
Sack McGee. Oh, it gives me OTKs with him. Dude plays a warning, makes him an OTK.
That's true.
Too good of a
Wow,
card.
Malefic Cyberend plus Limiter,
Yep.
8,000.
And then, so yeah, that's all the monsters and the spells. And then for the traps.
So the card dues are really good now because now you don't have to run cards like Upstart and like those kinds of cards to thin out your deck.
And I was also expecting people not to use Effect Veiler as much because of wind-up success. And I only think one time in the whole tournament this thing got Effect Veilered when I summoned it.
Right on.
People would either get booked or torrential.
And it's not even that bad because if you get your card devailered, you still have then you summon your gear frames and they get their fortress, which is even better.
Exactly. So onto the traps. I used one Starlight Road. Didn't feel like I needed more than one. Just one was good. One Psalm, of course, just perfect negation with everything.
Right.
Reason didn't feel like I need more because I used the 3 bribes. Of course, 3 bribes or the 3 skill
Right,
drains.
to protect all your big monsters,
Right.
whatever they throw
Perfect
at you.
synergy. People were trying to, the conflicting idea people were saying is that gear frame wouldn't really work, but this situation never surprisingly occurs because people are so focused on either getting rid of him or
Right.
getting rid of this by the time I draw this, or if I don't open it, that it's live then, or I open it, search, and then set that. So either way,
Right.
it was, I'd say, I don't think this combination of cards was ever dead in the whole tournament. To help the fiendish, to help the skill drain, I use one fiendish chain because I felt like you really do need the answers, the negations early. That's what did cost me in top 8. I didn't open any of these or my 3.
Oh, you made top 8? I thought it was top.
Or top.
That was
top
like
in top. Yeah.
Yeah.
In top. Sorry, mumbling. Didn't open any defensive cards, which killed. And then it just allowed him to push through, allowed him to be super aggro with Geargia, which normally it's not a bad match if I hit any one of the 4, but didn't see it. And going second really hurt, allowing him to set 3 with an arsenal, or the flip dude turn 1.
Right.
Like you see, the 3 compulses work perfectly in here. I love these over the, essentially these were the better version of Lance for me. They try and go bottomless, just add it back, rebring out.
rebring us Malefic
Even if they
Cyberend.
bottomless him, bring him back, pitch him off for that. Just bring him
Was
back.
there ever a time where you ran out of Cyber Ends in your extra deck?
Not once today.
Good.
No, never
Just
ran out of
wondering.
Cyber Ends. It was great. And then the last trap card I play is a 7 tools. This is mainly because of Warning and Solemn Judgment, just to make sure I have the key critical negations, so I wouldn't have to use the bribe on the trap cards. I'd always want to save the bribe for the power spells, or even an MST, which I don't like to do, but sometimes you have to
protect it.
You have to keep these alive at times. So yeah, this is everything in the main.
All right, so we got 13 traps. We got over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 13 spells, and 1, 2, actually. I am unable to count. 14 spells and 16 monsters.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Alrighty.
43 cards.
43.
Yeah. I finally broke the 43.
What's an extra card? Nah.
The extra card was added was a book at the end.
There it is. I was like, I knew it was a 42 at one point. It gotta be.
It definitely was, but needed the extra defense. Side or extra? Which do you want to see?
Either one.
Extras on top. So,
All right.
we have, of course, the 3 Cyber End Dragons.
Yes.
2 Chimera Techs because the Cyber. The only reason, originally I was actually siding a second Cyber, but I only went down to 1. But with the compulsories, I felt like using 2 was still critical.
Right, especially if you have the room, since you don't really have tuners or anything like that.
Exactly, and there's not that many XYZ options that I have.
Right.
I use 1 Neo Galaxy Eyes. I figured just in case of windups, you never know when the crazy play happen. I never used them, but I'd still have them in here just in case. 2 Helios. I actually don't think I went to these, but in testing, I use these guys a lot. They're great. Great answer cards to many problems. Favorite card, probably in the extra deck's Big Eye.
Big Eye is really good.
So underrated. This card, can't say enough about it. Take a Zen main, swing through everything. It's like, you think you're good with your wall? Nope. And then to help the Big Eyes, we have the Gaia Chargers. Take your rank 5s, and then you can do that after I use the effect. 1 Gear Giant X. If I open 2, if I can go Gear Frame turn 1, search, and then Gear Frame turn 2, and drop him, the game's pretty much over. I did it once. did the do turn 1 search.
Was that in a future? I think I saw that in a future match.
I did it.
And then you flipped skill drain and people got confused.
Oh,
after.
It was. I know what you're talking about. It was later on in the game.
Okay.
But he fiendish chained my second gear frame.
Yes, and then he.
So then I went to this guy, detach, get the gear frame back.
And then you set skill drain after.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes. 1 pap. Just because of Reaper, potentially, if I don't have a skill drain, to swing through for damage. Actually, never went to him, but.
Right.
And of course, Stardust for the Starlight Road.
Right on.
So, pretty generic, everything you need. Couldn't think of really. I wanted to use a Djinn, but didn't really, again.
My stroke?
My stroke, yeah.
And this side deck.
Matt Troll tokens. Anybody that knows Matt Wright. For Dark Worlds. Went 2 Gemini Imps, 2 Shadow Mirrors. My personal favorite, 2 Magic Drains. I love these this tournament. They're great versus the main 2 is Heroes and Dark World, just due to the high spell count. Especially when they set everything, then try and go drag down. It's like no drag down for you. Just shut down all their plays. Dark Worlds, what I was going in was I was afraid it was going to be my worst matchup, just because they were going to be able to destroy my guys and not let me keep field presence. But I played 2 Dark Worlds and I beat both of them. They're both decent, pretty good players. I also side the messenger piece for essentially those matchups. Pretty much everything but windups I side messenger in. You would think it's shut me down, but just the ability of being able to not pay the 100 makes this card like a Swords of Revealing Light, but better.
Right.
2 Mysticals for Dimensional Fissures, Royal Decrees, extra just back rows when I need to push through for game. Dark Hole. The reason I didn't main again, normally with the big beat 6 I can get around anything, and I also thought I was going to play a lot of windups, so I didn't want that because it was dead against the rabbits a lot, and it's not good till after they overcommit, so I didn't like it as much. Good versus Geargias, Heroes, Dark Worlds, Gadgets, all this and other stuff.
Right.
1 Thunder King. Pretty much done Heroes, Dark Worlds, Geargias, all the same stuff, and then 3 Maxis. Those are mainly. I normally only go 3 for windups, and then I normally go 2 against anything that's slower for like Plant Synchro maybe. I actually didn't really like the Maxi that much. I might not even use these.
So what would you change in your side deck, or even main deck? What would you change if you had to, or if you could?
Man.
After this experience.
I don't know if I'd still use Book of Moon or not. But other than that, there's really not much I would like. Besides Book, and I don't even know what I'd really change it for. Maybe another Fiendish change, just because I feel Geargias can be a tough matchup. Just because going early, again in top 8 or top 32, got Pedagog's 3 sets turn 1, set the guy, flip him off next turn. It's just like I know if I don't overcommit and have him to a point where he can't get back over, it'll cost him. And I can go back, I'll just lose. So probably more for that. Just drawing a negation card would have helped, but probably nothing in the main side. I probably would take out the Maxis, actually. I don't really like him that much this format.
Right.
I'd probably go with another Thunder King.
Would you think about something maybe like Gozen match, or most of them are Earths, right?
I actually was using Rivalry originally.
Okay. Oh yeah, Rivalry
but
machines, right.
I took it out because I thought Maxi would be better, but I probably would add in Rivalry or Gozen, depending. Actually, it would be Rivalry because these are Darks, and then everybody else is Earth.
Yeah.
So yeah, those would probably be the 2: a Rivalry and a Thunder King, and then
something.
Maybe a Cyber Dragon, or maybe, depending on
maybe a 3rd MSC just for decrees, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that.
Another spell and trap removal card. Also maybe because the next YCS, I think the new water structure deck will be out by the next YCS, so something for that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that's the deck.
Lost 32. So what was your hardest matchup of the tournament?
I thought it was Dark Worlds was what I was expecting, but both Dark World players I played, I took care of them no problem. 2-1 the one and 2-1 the other one. Again, it wasn't that tough of a matchup. Geargias, just being able to explode with the 1 flip is so
devastating.
So devastating. Essentially, it's kind of like the 1 Dragonfly Hornet, but again, it's not that bad, so it's okay. So it's not, our game's not just exploding, but it is a problem. So
okay, and what did you like? Lost my train of thought. Anyways,
there's got to be some other questions you have, Wilson.
No, I definitely do, but I'm blanking right now. Didn't get much sleep. But anyways, this is what'd you call this deck again?
Machina-lefics.
Machina-lefics. I'll let the viewers ask. All right, because I don't know what I'm doing right now. All right, that's it for me, guys. 3zinferno signing out.
Catch you, Rhode Island.